SwimOutlet.com delivers the best online shopping experience. With an extensive selection and the lowest prices, you're guaranteed to find the product you need. Here's what you get. Free shipping on all orders over $49. Free 1 to 2 day shipping on all orders over $99. All orders placed by 6 p.m. ship out the same day. Shop at SwimOutlet.com, the web's most popular swim shop.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Thursday, August 30th, 2012. I'm your host, Jeff Cummings. We got a very special interview for you today. Breeja Larson invited Swimming World TV to her home in Mesa, Arizona, not too far from our studios. And Tiffany Elias sat down with her to talk at length about her Olympic experience, as well as how it moves her forward for her junior year at Texas A&M University.
Hey Breeja, thanks for inviting us into your house to do this Morning Swim Show.
Thank you for coming.
All right, so let's start off with talking about London. It's most recent, and you're also wearing some pretty impressive hardware. Gold medal around your neck. How are you feeling being back post-Olympics?
It's a lot of fun, and the cool thing about coming home, though, was just getting to see everyone again. And, you know, the first thing I wanted to do when I came home was just go to my elementary school and walk in the office and say, you know, guess what, guys, I made it. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for your support. And it was just really neat because I went to 2 elementary schools here, Holmes and Edison, and both of them had put up messages on the marquee board outside. And just having, like, that support from your elementary school was just phenomenal. Like, it was just so awesome to see these teachers who were, you know, your 6th grade teacher able to see you and be proud of you for making it this far when they didn't even know you were even interested in it.
So a big welcome back from the community.
Yes.
Now, on top of that, you're an Olympian who came back with a gold medal. So not only have a lot of the Olympians been on vacation lately, relaxing from the pool, but you've been doing stuff all around town. What other things have you been doing?
My schedule is pretty busy, actually. I've done 4 elementary school assemblies where they got all the kids together, and I just, you know, kind of talked about my experience and explained to them that if they, you know, try really hard, they can always achieve their goals, and no one should ever let them, you know, tear them down or tell them they can't do it. And sometimes the road gets a little lonely when you feel like you're the only one who believes in what you want to accomplish, but you'll always find one person out there who will give you the step up that you need.
Well, now, you're such an interesting case because you started so late in life, which everybody knows. Competitive swimming started as a senior in high school, which is years and years after the average swimmer. But what's interesting now, talking about going to elementary schools and encouraging kids at such a young age and walking that lonely road, your road is so much shorter than everybody else's. Yeah. Talk a little more about that. Have you actually been, you had those encounters along the way, even starting swimming so late in life?
Yeah, I mean, I always, I played a lot of different sports, and I remember when I was 6 years old watching the Olympics, or however young, and telling my dad that I wanted to go. And he said, well, you know, what sport do you want to do? Gymnastics. You know, and they said, Breeja, you're going to be too tall. Yeah. And I didn't believe them. I said, no, I'm going. And so I did cartwheels in the front yard for like 6 or 8 years, just practicing for the Olympics. And then I kind of came to reality. I was like, okay, this might not work.
Did you have a chance to stand next to the gymnast? I'm sure they came up to your belly button.
Funny. It's in the Olympic Village. It was so awesome because you saw, you know, like the extremely tall basketball players kind of grouping together, and then just a group of short little cute girls running around. You're like, those are the gymnasts.
Yeah, fun game, people watching in the Olympic Village, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So coming back with a gold medal, how does that feel to have it around your neck? You came off such an amazing year. Let's touch on that, because NCAA's was, how can you top that? You know, you've had the American record, first in the 100 breast, really opened up everybody's eyes to Breeja Larson. And then here you go and top it with a gold medal. So what's next?
You know, I am actually really excited to go back to short course yards. I still have a lot of goals I want to achieve, and this year, going as team captain with Maureen McLean and Camille Adams, I think that us 3 can really bring the team up a little bit and help us achieve higher goals.
Well, we'll definitely talk more about A&M. Mentioning Camille Adams, Texas A&M had a huge lineup at London. You guys not only had graduates who were there representing various countries, but your class at A&M, which is going to be juniors, which is dangerous, had countless people. Who was all there?
Well, we for Mexico, we had a senior that just graduated, Rita Medrano, but also in my class we had Erica Dittmer and Lily Ibanez from Mexico. And it was just so cool to be there with other Aggies that I swim with every day. And we had Kim Pavlin from Croatia, and Camille Adams also made the Olympic team with me. And like just from our class, we had that many, and it was just so amazing. And also from previous classes, we had Ollie Atkinson for Jamaica, and Julia Wilkinson from Canada, and Dreen Allahan from Estonia, and J.L. Patrick diving for Australia. I mean, it was just so incredible that from one program, from all around the world, we were able to have athletes come together for this competition.
Yeah, it's a huge lineup. You'd expect that from a team like Cal, and to see Texas A&M continuing to build in the ranks. I mean, those numbers and the places that you're getting, multiple finals finishes, is just unbelievable for the A&M program.
Yeah, and even for our men's team, we had Omni Fanua from Tonga Swim. And so just having like from both swimming programs, we had representatives, and I know we had a Canadian diver as well who was on the men's team. And it's so awesome to be able to go home and show that Aggie pride and just represent our school worldwide.
Oh, well, it's going to be an amazing upcoming season. We're excited to follow it. A&M's moving into the SEC, which is huge. You've now are battling Georgia, Auburn, Florida. This is one of the fastest conferences in the country. So how's A&M feeling about that?
I think we're really excited about it. And I don't know how the other sports are quite feeling about it, if they're comfortable with it or they're nervous or excited. But, I mean, good competition is always nice to have. And, of course, we'll still get to swim some of the schools in Texas to be able to keep that relationship with them. But to have this opportunity to race them before nationals and even be able to have the SEC conference at our own pool, that's going to be so much fun. And now that we know some of the girls on the Olympic team who go to Florida and Georgia and other schools, it's going to be just like a happy reunion, just to be able to see them. Yeah,
so now your community of swimmers just got huge. You met everybody internationally. So do you just feel like you've made so many new friends? When you're on pool deck, you're going to recognize all those Florida people that were there and all the different schools now. So it really just opens you up to a whole new world of athletes.
Yeah, and I think one of the best things to me about making the 2012 Olympic team was getting to know all the athletes before they retired. Like some of the, like Colin Jones, it was amazing meeting him, and Natalie Coughlin, Michael Phelps, Ryan Lochte, Jason Lezak, and Carolyn Joyce. I got to room with her. Super awesome. And, just getting to meet all the younger ones coming in, like Leah Neal and Kitty Ledecky, Missy Franklin, and just like a wide range of all of these awesome swimmers from, married to high school. And we just had such an awesome team, and I feel like a lot of us clicked really well together. And it was, the Call Me Maybe video was,
that was
so
good.
much fun to make. Like, Kathleen Hersey's awesome, Russell, awesome.
Whose idea was it to do that?
Kathleen Hersey.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
Missy Franklin,
awesome
little star in that as too. She had a pretty big role.
Musical era, that girl.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really interesting. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. All right, so you also had Steve, your coach, Steve Bultman, who, of course, made the London coaching squad as an assistant coach to your advantage, because you mentioned earlier your training style didn't have to change from where you were moving into London. So how was that?
It was awesome. Steve is kind of my rock. I feel like a lot of the time I just follow him around during swim meets. All right, what do I do? When do I go? How much time do I have? And one thing that I really like to have in a coach is validation. And I'm not always comfortable asking coaches who aren't regular with my swimming style to validate what I'm supposed to do. But, I go up to Steve and we just have our own ritual saying, okay, this is what I want to do for warm-up. And he says, yes, that is what you want to do for warm-up. And as soon as I have his okay, I'm able to go in just confident and not have to worry. And, if I just do what Steve tells me to do. And if it works out really well, which it usually always does, or if it doesn't work out quite as well, it's okay. We're both learning together about this. And it was just made the whole experience being able to have him there and be able to share all of this with him. And I would have felt, pretty lonely if I didn't have my own coach there too. And, now it kind of saves on the storytelling. He was there for all the stories, and he was there to see all the emotions and all the excitement. And it was just so awesome to have him on the team.
Well, and what you were saying, how important it is to buy into your program. And I think that's what a lot of swimmers lack, is that you have to buy into what the coach is telling you to do, so that you can just let it happen. You put in all the work, and then the results should just happen. Swimming's a hard event. You obviously have your ups and downs. But what is Steve's advice for you now moving forward? You've had a couple weeks off, but you're headed back to school here in a couple days, back to A&M, and what are your plans as far as getting back in the water?
It's going to be really nice to just get back to normalcy. You know, and I don't think, and one thing I really love about Steve is he expects just the same. You know, I haven't been put on a pedestal or anything. He sees me as his swimmer. And, you know, if we have, 36 girls now, I'm just 1/36th of his team. And I just thought that was so neat. Like, I actually got that from my little sister because I have 6 sisters, so there's 7 girls.
Wow.
And she just kind of explained, I'm just 1/7 of my parents' work. And what a good way to just equalize it, you know? Just because we accomplish different things doesn't make one person better than another.
Now, where do you fall in the scheme of the 7 girls here?
I'm the second oldest.
Second oldest, okay. So that must be unbelievable support right there.
Oh, yeah. They were very, very cute. They made a video to one of the Miley Cyrus songs, Party in the USA, and they sent it to the P&G house in London for me to see on a big screen, and it was really cute.
Oh, that's great. All right, back on London, let's rewind to your events. You had the 100 breaststroke, which, let's first touch on trials. You won the 100 breaststroke, which was a huge upset, beating Sony. What was that emotion?
That was a big shock. I mean, a lot of people would ask, did you expect it? And I always set my goals really high, and I don't want to say that I felt I was better than them. I believed that I could get first, and whoever touched the wall had a better race. And I got to see both sides of that in my racing, because usually I've been on top for a while, and so I've never really gotten to see how I would react to not being on top. And so at trials, just being first, I like one of the fastest meets in the world, like that was incredible. And just seeing Rebecca's reaction of just support and being happy for me just like showed me a whole new side of sportsmanship. She was just so nice about it and so supportive and really took the time to get to know me. And I was so honored by that. I was like, this is Rebecca Sony, and she like wants to talk to me. And once I kind of got over that, it was really cool. And we were able to be friends and talk about a lot of stuff. But if we move over to the Olympics and those races, prelims went great, super fantastic. Semis, I got to swim right next to Rebecca. We got first and second. So much fun, like good memories. Write it down in the journal. Check. And then when I went
finals, the big one.
Yeah. Earlier that day, I had visualized just the start for like 3 hours. And I was ready. Like I was hitting pace times that were really fast, and I was super excited and just happy to be there. And then usually, like at NCAA's, they usually hold you for a while on the block before they put the buzzer off. And here, they were going really quick. Take your mark, go. And so I knew beforehand that I wanted to get ready early. And that's kind of what set the whole thing off. And so I took my mark early, and when the buzzer went off, it was just hardwired. I didn't even think. I just jumped. And it was just so funny because that was the best reaction time I've ever had.
What was it?
I think it was like 0.5.
Wow.
And I think my like don't quote me quite on that. I'm pretty sure it was, but my diving time is usually 0.7 or 0.8. And so it was really, really good. And I just remember while I was still in the air, thinking, you didn't say take your mark. This probably isn't a good situation.
Filling everybody in. She false started on the 100 breaststroke final, but turns out it was a malfunction.
Right. And so I just remember, though, hitting in the water and looking on the other end of the pool and seeing that there weren't any bubbles on that side. So coming up and it was funny because, this is all within like 2 seconds. And just making these quick decisions, and it felt like 5 hours just going through this process of coming out of the water. And I just remember the venue was silent. It literally felt like no one was breathing. No one knew what was going on. I didn't know what was going on.
I wasn't breathing.
And I just remember, and I just remember just my heart dropped, and I thought for a second, is that a disqualification? And like no one knew how to react. No one knew if that was a disqualification. Like they didn't know what to do. It's never happened. And so getting out of the water, I was screaming inside, but I just it happened. I can't do anything about it, but I can move forward and try and just keep going because I've already put this much work into it. I'm not going to stop now. Right. If they try and disqualify me, I'll fight it. And I know a lot of other people will fight it for me. And so getting out of the water, just kind of shaking it off, and then getting ready for the race again, it was really nerve-wracking. And it was really hard to mentally get set again. But after the race, I just remember touching the wall and looking if I had 3, 2, or 1 lights on there, and I didn't. And I had about 10 seconds where I was just kind of bummed. I was like, well, I don't want to blame it on the start because it happened, and I can't do anything about it. But then, like, the next, like, second after that, I looked over and saw Rebecca's, and I was so happy for her.
Yeah.
And, like, the only thing I could think about was just getting to Rebecca and just giving her the biggest hug. And I was like, you just got second place. And I just wanted to cry. So excited. And, you know, afterwards, I got, when she went her way and I went mine, and I saw Ollie Atkinson, and, you know, I think she was a little bummed because she got fourth, and that's a kind of hard place to get.
Yep.
And this is her second Olympics, but she was kind enough, and she held my hand as we walked off, and it was such a nice comfort to have a teammate there and to have that support, I think on both ends, really, and it was really nice.
So do you think your race would have played out differently had you not have had the false start?
I feel like it would. And, like, this is kind of like a tender topic, but I really felt like I could have gone faster. And before, I would feel comfortable saying that I have a chance to be a contender for a medal. But now, I can't even imagine trying to strip that of those girls. I mean, they earned it. Everybody was rattled by the false start. Everyone was. And
Right.
I really feel like it affected everyone. But, I mean, they had a better race, and they didn't react to the start. And, I mean, they just, all around it went better for them. And good on them, you know? And, like, they just, all better, they earned it. They won. They beat me. And that's
On that
great.
day,
Yeah.
at that time,
Yeah,
and it happens.
And good for them. Like, it was kind of a bummer that had happened to me at the biggest meet ever. But, you know, I plan on sticking around for another 4 years, and so I have another shot at it.
Right. And you weren't the only one who had false starts. Sun Yang had a huge false start that,
that
you know,
was
he was favored
brutal.
to just dominate that event.
And he still did.
And he still did, luckily. But it's, I mean, I just can't imagine those emotions. I know as a fan sitting up in the stands, you know, we all held our breath just to see what's going to happen, you know. So either way, making a final for your first Olympics, huge.
Yeah.
Now, and then your other teammates also finaling. Camille was also finaled in that 200 fly, which that was an event we weren't even sure if the women were going to be able to make the final. So it was amazing to see two ladies in there. So
Yeah. I mean, both of those girls, I mean, they're incredible. Like, I love watching Camille race. Like, she's got such control of her race, and just seeing her just, like, bring it home is just, like, super inspirational to keep working on my 200 to try and mimic how talented she is in that. And, like, Kathleen Hersey, I mean, she's just got a heart of gold. Like, she's just so wonderful to be around all the time. And just seeing how hard she's worked and how many trials in her life she's had to go through to be able to get this far. And just everyone on the team had their own inspirational story. And it was just so awesome to be able to get to hear all of those, like, firsthand.
all right, so after a semi-emotional 100 breaststroke, you have the 400 IM, 400 medley relay, and taking first at trials, automatic spot right there. You swam it in the morning. And the ladies came back to just dominate world record pace, which means you get a gold medal. Yeah. So walk us through that.
So, I mean, the relay was probably the funnest race I've ever swam. And Jack Roach, one of the junior national team directors, he explained to us in a meeting that the relays, everybody's swimming with you. All the past swimmers, all the present swimmers, all the future swimmers, everyone in the crowd, your parents' family, they're all swimming that relay with you. And you want to swim faster for that relay than you ever have for yourself. And it's like the best team experience. And it's just so exciting to go out there with your friends and be able to be with them. And I'm just so glad that I wasn't the first leg, because I mean, I was twitching. I was ready. I was like, all right, let's go, Rachel, let's go, Rachel. And she was swimming so good. And it was kind of hard, though, because we knew our job, our first and only most important job, was to get them back to finals. And, you know, just making sure we had safe starts, like watch them touch the pad and then go. And I think we did a pretty good job, and we got them back. And I just remember just, like, seeing them in finals, and I was so happy. I just remember I was, like, shaking the whole entire time. And when they touched first, I was breathing so hard and crying, I couldn't even feel my face anymore. It was, like, numb for half an hour.
Well, and going off what you said, you're all part of the same team. So you swam in the morning, but you were just as much part of that team at night. It took your swim to get them back. And that's what's so great about the U.S. team and our depth is that we had 4 different swimmers in the morning. You had Rachel Bootsma with you. You also had you doing the breaststroke leg, Jessica Hardy on the freestyle.
And Claire Donahue.
And Claire on the butterflies. So 8 ladies got to walk away with the gold. The guys also had a relay that did that as well, but I think we were the only country who was able to have 2 totally different squads. So that really helps our energy levels.
You know, at first I kind of talked to the prelims ladies about it, and And at first we kind of felt like not ashamed at all, but just like it wasn't our medal. You know, it's like, well, you know, we didn't swim at night. But after talking to the final heats and just other veterans who had been in the same position, you know, they just explained it to us like, you are just a part of that as anybody else. Like without you doing that, perhaps they would have been more fatigued and wouldn't have done as well. And so sometimes it still is a little bit like, well, you know, I don't want to just, I don't feel like I'll ever flaunt it. But if people want to see it, I'm more than happy to share the experience. But, you know, it was after kind of getting over that and realizing for myself that, yes, I was part of that. I am a gold medalist. This is awesome.
Next step, individual gold medal, I would say, would probably be what's next in line.
And I'm excited for that. And, you know, like, there's no way to know what will happen, but that I feel like the false tone, you know, it happened for a reason. And I'm able to be that much stronger because of it. And I think it's also kind of good because it got me out of the media attention a little bit, and so I don't have any pressures to go pro early or anything, and so now I can really focus on school and my team, and it made it a lot easier to just kind of go back to normalcy.
Has there been any pressure to go pro?
No, I think like some family members were excited about it, but you know, I made the decision early on before trials that even if I had the opportunity to, you know, like collect over 200,000 or something like that, I wouldn't give up NCAAs for it.
Well, we look forward to NCAAs this year and next year, being that you're only a junior. So 2 more great years to come. Congratulations on a great London experience.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for inviting Swimming World into your home.
Thank you.
And as Tiffany said, we want to thank Breeja Larson and her family for allowing us to meet with her at her home today and taking time out of her busy schedule while she was home visiting family and friends. And that's going to do it for today's Morning Swim Show. Thanks for watching.